Welcome to Wisconsin Weather Experts right here on Fox Local. Very busy day today, Holly. We've had an interesting morning because it started out so beautiful. Then it got gray and wet all of a sudden.
And then that's kind of sticking with us, the gray for sure.
Yeah, for sure. And we're going to continue with some active patterns for the next little while. And of course, with the football world, at least looking at Green Bay for Thursday, Friday, Saturday in the draft. We'll be talking about that and just the bigger picture coming up in a bit. We want to start out actually looking to the east as we go out to New Jersey for some wildfires there in Ocean County, New Jersey. They spread to 8,000 acres. Take a look at this. Yeah, that's the sound, of course, of some of the firefighting efforts there. And this is an aerial video, obviously, that shows the extent of the massive wildfires sweeping across the region on Wednesday. So they're calling this the Jones Road Fire. It broke out Tuesday afternoon at the Greenwood Forest Wildlife Management Area. That's in Barnegat Township. So the fast-moving flames, they've caused some partial closures on the Garden State Parkway, which is a very heavily traveled highway, interstate. New Jersey Forest Fire said that fires are now burning in Ocean and Lacey Townships as well. They are under 10% contained. That's a very small containment right there as of early yesterday, so there may have been some progress in the last 24 hours. Local media reports more than 1,000 structures are under threat and more than 3,000 residents have been evacuated, those who live nearby. So we go from that amazing visual to some amazing audio as well of some hail in Texas on Tuesday. Listen to this. I think right at the very end, the car alarm goes off too. So, yep, there it goes. I mean, it's funny, but it's not. If that's your car and it's out there getting pelted by golf balls, it's problematic. But just the sound of that downpour of large hailstones was kind of mind-blowing. That came from Fox's Britta Merwin in Georgetown, Texas on Tuesday with the hail, again, setting off the car alarm. Now, one of the bigger threats for any thunderstorms that we may see today could be hail as well. I wouldn't expect anything like the tennis ball size hail we had recently, but as we just saw there, it doesn't have to be big to be destructive.
Oh, yeah, especially if it's just coming down all at the same time.
The noise of that was, disturbing for sure. All right, let's jump into our big picture here. I'll let you take over and give everybody the scoop.
All right, guys. Well, I'm going to start with some good news. We're going to be warming up a little bit more as we head into at least the end or the last part of our week into the beginning of May. So the end of April into May, that is April 27th through May 1st. We're going to be trending above average with our temperatures here for the Milwaukee region and even a lot of the South and the Midwest. So we're definitely having warmer temperatures to be on the way. So hang on tight. This week is not even bad when we look at temperatures. We'll dip down and we'll be mild in the 50s, but then we shoot right back up closer to the 70-degree mark as well as we go throughout the rest of this week and even into next week. Let's look at the temperatures right now. Across the state, not too bad. We're all really mild here. 62 in Wausau, 52 in Green Bay, 63 in Milwaukee, 59 in Madison, 68 in Eau Claire, 55 in Marquette. Now let's look at some of those highs that are forecasted for today. You see how much warmer we get? We get up to the 70s for a lot of our areas. And just down south, they're going to get closer to the 80-degree mark. Chicago there at about 76, 77 in Rockford, 71 in Madison, and Milwaukee checks in at about 72. You do notice a little bit cooler along the lake there. We could have a lake breeze just along the lake shore communities all the way stretching up through Door County. You even see at 68 degrees in Green Bay today, so that's not going to be too bad. A lot of people that are going to the job, you're going to be in good shape with those temperatures. You don't have to worry about the Wisconsin winter temperatures to catch you by surprise, especially with having people from all over. Let's take a look at our satellite and radar across the state. I know earlier they had a few delays for at least Green Bay with the draft because they had a few more of those showers and thunderstorms pushing through the area. Well, we have a warm front here that's also going to help warm us up, and that's going to push a little bit more of those showers just to the north. Even in the Milwaukee area, we're tracking some showers moving through our area as well. And then behind all of this, areas, there is a cold front, so that may drop temperatures a little bit more as we head throughout the rest of this week. But overall, we're starting to look a little bit drier. We saw a lot more of that rain earlier, but we're looking a little bit drier. We do have a severe thunderstorm outlook. Mainly, though, there's a slight risk, at least for areas of at least Kansas and even into Texas. However, if we get closer to home here, we're just going to be at least more on that marginal risk. And that just means that we could have some hail possibilities, even strong winds at times, and as well as even limited intensity with some of our scattered storms. So some of those could be intense, but they'll pretty much push out pretty fast. Let's look at our drought monitor, though. We haven't looked at this in quite a while, but we've made some improvements from the last time we checked on this, just from statewide view. We definitely made some improvements, but we still have more improvements to make. But you see, just south of the Milwaukee region, they're still dealing with some of those moderately dry conditions as well as abnormally dry conditions. So the rain that we're getting is really much needed rain because we are in such a deficit for the rain this season. So we definitely could use the rain that we're getting. Speaking of which, here's a look at our rainfall, at least for the month. For the month, we've already got about 2.71 inches of rain. For the year, we've got close to about 8 inches of rain. But from our average, we're almost about a little less than a quarter of an inch of rain below our average and about half an inch of rain for the year. So we definitely need a little bit more of that rain, and we'll definitely get that over the next 3 days combined. Let's look at those rain chances. They're higher for today and on Friday. We get a slight chance, though, as we head into Thursday. It's going to be looking a little bit drier, though, as we head over the weekend, which is good news for the draft. But then those rain chances definitely will start to return as we head into next week. Let's look at our Sky Vision Plus here, and as we go throughout really the rest of this week into the weekend. So we have the showers that are moving through the area as we speak right now, and that's not just in our area, even the Green Bay area. By the time we make it to tonight, we're going to have some dry time in between. So in between roughly 1 or 2 o'clock up until about closer to midnight, around 10:30, 11, we'll start to have more of that rain really start to return across the state, including Green Bay. But that's okay. It's going to be overnight, and even for our area overnight. And it's going to continue overnight. As you see here, some intense storms could be possible overnight tonight as we head into Thursday morning. But Thursday is looking to be a little bit drier for at least the areas here in the Milwaukee region. But we'll start the morning off at least on a wetter note. We'll have a lot of that rain just in the central part of our state, and everybody's going to be dealing with those clouds. So all of the gray that you're seeing for today, that's going to be the same trend as we head into Thursday's forecast. As we go throughout the rest of Thursday, a lot of dry time for the central part of the state as well as even the Milwaukee region. And a few storms could be possible, though, for the Green Bay area on Thursday afternoon. And then that northwestern portion of our state, they're going to get a good bit of rain. So if you're going to be headed there or you're living there and you're watching us, definitely prepare for some rain as you head into your Thursday's forecast. And that rain will continue throughout Thursday afternoon. And even as we head into Thursday evening, we'll start to have more of that rain pick up, though, as we head into our Friday morning. So this is Friday around 1:30 in the morning. We'll start to have more of those showers and even thunderstorms that we'll be tracking, not just for the Milwaukee area, but across the state. You see here, this storm looks like pretty much a soaker for us on Friday. That's the backside of the storm moving through our area. So Friday is looking to be pretty rainy, at least for the first half of the day. Once we get towards the evening, we look to be drying out just a little bit more. But in all, here is a look at our NFL forecast, our NFL draft forecast for you. And this is from Thursday up until about Saturday. So those conditions get brighter and brighter and brighter. So we just got to see the light, or the sunshine, I should say, at the end of the tunnel. So for tomorrow, we can expect some rain showers, at least for the Green Bay area. Temperatures will be, at least highs will top out in the 60s. Wind will be pretty breezy up there from the northeast at about 20 miles per hour. As we make our way into Friday morning, you saw all those showers across the state. This is for Green Bay, by the way. They're going to have those morning showers, a little bit cooler with their temperatures as a cold front will move through and cool temperatures down. Wind will then be from the northwest at about 20 miles per hour. So at least for Thursday and Friday, it's looking to be pretty windy outdoors, but that wind tapers off a little bit more as we head into Saturday. Saturday is looking like the best day for all of the people attending the draft, as well as the people that are in the draft. It's looking like the best day for some football there. Temperatures warm back up in the 50s, which that's going to feel pretty good. Wind will be fairly light in between 5 to 10 miles per hour. shower from the east, northeast. So overall, a good forecast ahead for the weekend. We just got to get through all the rain showers first. But what do they say? Whenever the rain comes, there are always rainbow and sunshines or something like that. So that's what we're going to be looking forward to, you guys. So definitely stay weather aware, keep track with us, and have your umbrella handy.
There you go, and there's our live camera. We're going to have unprecedented, unrivaled coverage of not only the draft, because of course our sports department is all over that, but we will be all over the forecast for it as well, because this is a major outdoor event, and we'll have to be very mindful of how we take care of folks attending that and leaving them hopefully with a good impression there on Saturday's forecast. We're back, hopefully making a good impression on you right after this with more Wisconsin weather experts. We're going to check in live with Lisa.
All right, guys, welcome back to Wisconsin Weather Experts. We have a lot more exciting stuff to talk about. I mean, the draft was, I hate that it's raining for those folks, but I'm just happy that they get a taste of some good temperatures up there. That's the one thing I'm happy about.
They'll leave on a good note with that sun on Saturday. And you know, we're getting more and more information about our weather here in Wisconsin. In fact, meteorologist, excuse me, Lisa Michaels, who's live this morning. She has some exciting news on all of the expansive weather data that we're going to be collecting here in the Dairyland.
Yeah, we are. You know, we're out here in Lost Lake, Wisconsin, near Juneau and Dodge County, and we have some exciting news because we are talking about the expansion of weather networks. Now, we have some very special people with us today. The instrumentation engineers, Michaela and Caitlin, are here to join us, and we're going to talk about the new network system by the University of Wisconsin-Madison called WiscoNet, and they have been very gracious to allow us to come out here today on one of their installation days. So thanks for joining us. And what can you guys tell us about what are you doing outside on this nice day?
Well, this is just one of, will be number 59 in our network, and it's a standard weather station. So a 10-foot tall tripod here with 15 sensors on it. And I could go it from top to down, just naming the sensors if you'd like.
Let's do it. Show us what this is.
So on the top is the wind sentry, so wind direction, gust, and speed. Then we've got a solar pyronometer, so that's going to be the global radiation, the sun energy coming down. Here's an HMP 155. That's our air temperature and relative humidity sensor. And here's the brains of the station, so I can open that up since the rain's gone for now. So we've got a data logger here that processes, the electrical inputs and then outputs a number that makes sense to us. These stations communicate with cellular data, so we have a Verizon cell modem here to get this data from the station to the web. We'll keep moving down and we'll go right over here to a leaf wetness sensor. So this sensor here just tells you if there's water on that leaf or not, so dew or rain. These are solar panels powered and got a battery right there. Michaela, do you want to point out the rain gauge over there?
Yeah, I'll hand this to you so you can just hold it and just talk into it. It'll be a little easier.
Yeah, so we've got a tipping bucket rain gauge over here. Keep it nice and far from the station so that I can get as much of the rainfall captured in the data. It's a basic tipping bucket mechanism, so it goes in the funnel and then tips out, and each tip correlates with an amount of rain that's measured. And then last in the ground, we've got our soil probes, and we've got 5 soil probes at 5, 10, 20, 50, and 100 centimeters. So they go in the sidewall of the hole that we're digging, while we also get soil samples of the hole to get soil characteristics so that we can characterize the soil data in the context of the soil type.
So one of the questions I'm going to ask you ladies is really, when it comes down to putting this up, what is the purpose of this? How is this going to benefit people in general?
So we're really identifying gaps in Wisconsin where there aren't current weather stations. That is our first target for locating these weather stations. And that's to provide data so weather predictors, weather forecasters can use that data and create better forecasts. We're creating tools for the ag community to go directly to the WiscoNet website, import data from these stations, and calculate growing degree days, look at the drought monitor that is provided by the USDA, who is using our data. So our data is going to the USDA, it's going to the National Weather Service. Yeah.
So it's being sent out to a lot of different sources that can use the data. Now, I think something that's really fascinating is what you guys are doing. This data is not only accessible to scientists in the field, but we're also talking about the public, right? Being able to access this data. What is the website that people can go to if they want to get further data for, this location, for example, that maybe we are not able to get that on air yet, but where can people go if they want to know things such as, the soil moisture or the temperature, or where all of your stations are putting up?
So our website is wisconet.wis.edu, and we have an updated website coming out, which will have even more tools and make the data a lot more accessible to end users from all different backgrounds. So farmers or weather experts, anyone can use the data and the tools that we have on our website.
And so how many did you put up last year, install for stations, and what are you projected to do this year?
So in 2023, we started out with 14 stations,
okay,
which were existing. We retrofitted to this current suite of sensors. In 2023, we installed 38 stations, and this year we are going to install 22. And we also installed 6 the first year, so yeah, that makes 59 for this one.
Now, is it just in southeast Wisconsin, or where are you guys setting up these stations in particular?
The goal is 1 per county.
Okay.
And we'll meet that this year, having 1 station at least per county.
Do you think at some point there may be a projected goal in the future of multiple per county to fill more of those gaps?
I think there's a need for that, and that is WiscoNet's goal, is to further fill the gaps, whether it's a station like this or maybe something that has a limited, number of the sensors. Yeah.
One of the questions I guess people may say is, you're putting this up. Are you just randomly going to places to install these on land, or how are you deciding where these need to be in the counties, and or do you ask permission for people to put those on their property?
Yeah, so our project director, Chris Vigaski, he's been very good about reaching out to potential site hosts, and we have a variety of site hosts from farmers to forest land and growers, everything in between. So yeah, we usually get in contact with them, and a lot of people are excited about having a weather station and getting such local data on their property. And even more so nowadays, we're getting people reaching out to us asking about whether we need a station, where they're located, and been making a lot of agreements that way as well.
All right, well, Michaela and Caitlin, I thank you so much for having you help out and show us what you're doing here, making a big impact across the state of Wisconsin, not just in southeast Wisconsin, but again, this is looking, Rob and Holly, like it's going to prove not only forecasting and resources for farmers, but also to you at home as the normal viewer. We're hoping that as broadcast meteorologists at some point, we can even ingest this data into our systems so we can provide more accurate forecasts and potentially help areas such as the National Weather Service with lead times, and either in order to get, again, more accurate data to fill those weather gaps and potentially help with weather events that we have in the future. So we're excited to see what you guys are going to do this year, and hopefully we'll get back with you again and see, again, bigger dreams to come in the years ahead. Back to you guys.
All right, thank you very much, Lisa. Amazing to see, and it's amazing to see all that tech in what is essentially a pretty small setup.
Yeah.
I mean, what that does, from everything from measuring radiation to, moisture in the soil to wind speeds and direction, all in that little tripod and a few little probes and a rain gauge. So amazing tech for sure, and as that continues to grow across the state, it'll only amplify the data that we have. And when you're making forecasts, good data in means good data out. So thank you for that, Lisa. We'll be back with more Wisconsin weather experts on the other side. Stay with us. You're watching Fox Local and Fox 6 YouTube. Welcome back to Wisconsin Weather Experts here on this Wednesday, and it is going to be an interesting day. We've got a couple of interesting animal stories to share with you before we're done with the day. And of course, if people have questions, Holly, what can they do?
You can scan the QR code there just at the right bottom corner of your screen there. So if you have any questions about anything weather or anything that you want to know as far as what we're doing every day on the job, definitely send those questions in. We can get those answered. We can even explain things that you may be confused about in a weather forecast.
Yeah, and it doesn't have to be just weather. We can do all atmospheric sciences or earth sciences, space stuff, whatever it is that kind of fits with the overall theme of this show. If you've got a question, please feel free to send it in. Basically all things science and science adjacent here, which kind of takes us to our next couple of stories to wrap things up. You know, yesterday was Earth Day. We talk about this planet and we share it with a lot of animals. And so kind of mixed tales here. One sad note, and then we'll have a happier one to end on. This is a gray whale that washed up on Alameda's South Shore on Monday. Wildlife officials there are still trying to figure out the cause of the death. So it wasn't that it was beached and died. It died and then washed up. This is the 5th whale, though, to die in the Bay Area in just recent weeks. The California Academy of Sciences has said gray whales are migrating up the California coastline right about now, so that may be part of the explanation there. The Coast Guard has urged boaters to be aware and be cautious of the increased number of whales in the Central Bay Area. So kind of a sad note, but let's end on a upbeat.
Right. So on a brighter note here,
Yes.
let's check this out. So the first Asian elephant calf was born through AI and is making his debut to the public.
Artificial insemination, not artificial intelligence. So we just
Yes.
okay. When you said it, I was like, oh, let's make that clear. This is not ChatGPT. This is an entirely different AI.
Right. So the St. Louis Zoo introduced a 5-month-old elephant named Jet on Tuesday.
Aw.
The zoo says he has grown more than 300 pounds
Wow.
since birth.
Yeah, me too.
Now weighing nearly double at about 600 pounds. Wow.
Really?
According to the zoo, less than 50,000 Asian elephants remain in the wild today and are at risk of extinction due to habitat loss and poaching.
So nice that, you know, at least we're adding to the numbers in a small way.
Right.
And it's amazing that the science behind, you know, artificial insemination, which we think about a lot when human couples are struggling to conceive, it can be applied in the animal world as well, and has been really in many places, you know, in agriculture as well, they do that. But this is a great way to help to at least do a small bit of protection or help to boost the numbers for the Asian elephant, which, as we just talked about, is on the endangered or at least threatened list. So yes, good note to end on there. Now, coming up in the days ahead, we are going to focus again on the draft forecast. We want to put our best weather foot forward with everybody streaming in to catch the NFL draft up the road in Green Bay. So if you want updates on that throughout the next couple of days as the draft kicks off tomorrow, please join us for that. Of course, our sports partner